You said it, Mike. It is Thursday. It is May 30th, which means we are 2 days away from the June 1st date in the NFL, which is the post-June 1st designations, where now deals become official, releases become official, and you get salary cap space. So let's talk about some moves that some teams should make come June 1st. First is the Jags should trade for Marshawn Lattimore. Here's the reason they say they lost Darius Williams to the Rams. Ronald Darby is their replacement, but he's over 30 years old. They have no one else but Tyson Campbell back there. So they should trade for Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, and remember, we talked about this based on the Dave Burkett piece a couple months back. June 1st being the date. Lions' potential interest. Look, if you're Jacksonville, I don't know how Rico feels. It's now or never. You know, you're about to pay your quarterback $500 million. The Doug Peterson thing, if it doesn't work out, you're looking for a new head coach. They desperately need corners and offensive linemen.
So you basically go all in.
Yeah, I think you have to. You don't have a choice. Because also you feel pressure. Look what Houston just did.
Yeah. See, I think Houston pretty much lit the fire under everybody. It's going to take some time. No, they just did it. So you know every general manager's walking. How did the Texans do this and we can't?
It's a lot like the Royals and the Tigers. More on that later. The point is...
You at the headquarters?
No. That division, I think, is quickly going from being the worst in football to one of the best. If you look at just Trevor Lawrence, you look at Anthony Richardson, and you look at C.J. Stroud. That has potential to be under the radar.
Has potential. Good. I still don't know what Richardson is.
I know. That's what's interesting.
Well,
I like it.
This next team, this move may not matter because of the division they sit in.
Yeah.
But it is the Raiders signing Stephon Gilmore, and they basically say they're worse off at cornerback than the Jags. They have Jack Jones and nothing else.
And lost to Meek Robinson here.
Yes.
Look, here's the one thing I would say. I think Antonio Pierce, a lot of Dan Campbell vibes. Players coach, former player, tough as the day is long, and his team plays for him. Remember, they played well for Antonio Pierce. They went into Kansas City and kicked Kansas City's ass. So I just don't sleep on them being the second playoff team out of that division.
See, I was about to say, if you're the Raiders, you normally don't do this, but my mindset would be this. Guys, we're focused on a wild card spot, okay? We're probably not going to win the division because Kansas City's going to take that. But we need to make sure we go out there and win at least 10 games this year to try to claim one of those spots. I mean, once you're in the playoffs, you never know what could happen.
Did Gardner Minshew get the Colts to the playoffs, yes or no? Yes.
Yeah.
It is doable. And again, I think Harbaugh, it has nothing to do with him. They're retooling everything the Chargers are doing, and the Broncos are a complete mess.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be the Raiders? So, yes, in that sense, 1-year contract, lead corner, yeah. Absolutely agree with Rico there.
I'm glad you mentioned the Broncos because this next trade helps the Broncos. It's with them. It's the Eagles, though, trading for Cortland Sutton. And what it talks about is now the Eagles lost in retirement Devontae Parker, who was going to help this year. It would save them, the Broncos, $27 million within the next 2 years. 13 this year, 14 next year. They only have 8 right now.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, hold on. There's only so many footballs to go around. Right. You just paid Devontae Smith. You got A.J. Brown. You got Dallas Goedert. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, all right, you want to trade for Cortland Sutton? God bless. It's Howie Roseman's M.O. I don't know how much of a difference maker it is.
And you also got Saquon there, too. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense because somebody's going to be angry because you're going to end up becoming the 5th option. So, that I would say no to that. If you're Denver, I guess it doesn't matter because you're just trying to get rid of players.
And the deal for them is basically to save money. Do it now because you're going to be horrible. You can start, building something starting next year. So the next one is the Chicago Bears trade for Matthew Judon. This is basically saying go all in with your rookie right now and build defense.
Look, I'll continue to say it, and I'm sure I'll get made fun of. That's fine. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better than Lion fans realize. That defense was already dominant. If Caleb is anything close to advertised with the skill they've put around him, they're not going to be a treat to play. Judon would give him another pass rusher. That goes with Montez Sweat. David, I believe in it, but I know locally you're not allowed to say nice things about these other NFC North teams. I'm telling you, I believe the Bears, at least on paper, they could surprise some people.
I think in the second half of the year, I think if you're going to play the Bears, you want to play them in the first 6 games because they're going to be trying to get their feet wet. This allows, with the addition of Judon, if this trade were to happen, Caleb doesn't have to go out and score every time. You know what? You don't have to take chances, lean on the defense, kind of do it Ravens style.
And they're already a defensive team.
Yeah.
Why not add strength to strength?
Yeah.
That's what the Niners do with their wide receivers. Yeah. They're skill weapons. Yes, I would do it.
So we already talked about this division and how great this division can be. So why not a team make themselves better? And that is the Indianapolis Colts trading for James Bradberry.
No. Ugh. You can have him.
You hate Bradberry.
I do. And I also think his play fell off a cliff. Now, if there's no other option, see, my problem is he's the worst corner you brought up in this segment. So I'm biased to say no to this versus if the other options are there, that's where I'm going.
Which team is this?
The Colts.
The Colts are trading for him?
Trading for him, yes.
No, I mean, I don't think that they doesn't necessarily need to. So I'm going with Mike on this. It's you could do better than going after him.
So let's close it out with this one.
Daniel Jones's wheelchair.
No, this one's a pretty big one. So to talk about each side here, okay? It is the Chargers trading for T. Higgins. Now it says the Chargers have the salary cap space to take on the tag and also sign him because they are projected to already have $51 million in cap space next year. They can go into that with the extension now. Would that benefit? Yes, it would benefit the Chargers, but how would that benefit the Bengals now?
All depends on compensation.
Yeah.
Look, my issue with the Bengals, and I am biased, but the Bengals are notoriously cheap. You right now have OTAs where Jamar Chase is not there and T. Higgins is not there because simultaneously they're both looking for a new deal. Had they taken care of this earlier, you avoid it. David, I don't know what their out is.
See, I think their out is, you know what? Now we could just pay Chase and we don't have to worry about the other. We kick that can. We get compensation back. And
why wouldn't you have done it before the draft? But that's my whole point. That compensation you're getting, you're wasting another year of Burrow and Chase's prime. David, it makes no sense to me. The only thing I could tell you, they got to play now with they got to pay Chase, which is going to anger Higgins even more. They got to play a game of chicken. They got to know that T's going to show up because he's on the tag, and you got to get that money. And you got to play through this season and figure it out. But there's no scenario I'm getting rid of T. Higgins now.
And knowing that because if you do this, he's not coming back next year. So
Correct.
You have him for one season. He is an angry employee, and he is already looking for a new place, some other new city to go to. So that's why I think they may try to do this deal and just, you know what? The choice is now made. He's gone. We'll pay Chase, and we'll move on. And you're right. You're wasting Burrow in his prime because he had 2 great receivers. Now you're limiting him to 1.
Used to have 3. Remember when Tyler Boyd was a thing?
Yeah, you're right.
And down to 1.
And had you known this before the draft, maybe you go out and draft another receiver so that, you know.
That's why on draft night I would have dealt him.
Yeah.
And I would have taken a receiver in a very deep class.
Right.
So in that sense, I'm left with one thing. The Bengals think that they can leverage this kid.
So, yeah, you bring in a Xavier Worthy or somebody like that, and now, you know what? We replace you with a younger guy.
And now you're a month out for training camp, and Joe Burrow's like, who am I throwing the ball to?
David, that's where it's so nice here in Detroit. There's no noise. Got all the deals done. There's no contract drama. There's no nonsense. It's just football.
And it was right before the draft as well. So
yep.
You knew going in, okay, well, here's what we need to look forward to drafting, this, and this, because these guys are all locked up. The only thing was missing was the golf contract, but we found out that a couple weeks later, there it is.
And that is in football today.